this thing in the door. Door test.
Okay.
Door test. We got to do it.
All right.
Backability test.
Aim for that sign right there.
Aim for that sign?
Yeah.
So, see how it disarmed?
Hey guys, Basil Moore with Grayson Hobby, and today we're actually going to fly the new BetaFPV micro combo from BetaFPV. It's the Cetus
FPV kit.
Yep, this one has the goggles, the remote, the quad, the batteries, the charge, and everything. And today we're going to fly it around, show you some cool features that the manual doesn't have in, maybe not. And then we're going to do some crash testing.
Yep, so beat the crap out of it.
Yep. All right, so stay tuned. So I'm technically flying it right now. Oh shit. Damn, look at that, Will.
Yeah, that's the best flying you've done in a while.
I can fly that with one hand. Don't get your hands off of it.
Why don't you come towards me so flying?
Well, because that's kind of hard to see. So, tell you how easy this is to fly, guys. Whoa, I'm flying with one hand. And yeah, that's that. What mode is that in?
That is in the safe mode.
All right. So
all right, bringing it back over here real quick.
One hand, the one-hand flyer.
Yeah. One thing I will say with the extra features that this drone has, it's actually pretty cool if you want to learn a little line of sight too. I would actually probably recommend starting with line of sight on this particular drone before going to the goggles if you've never flown a drone before.
Explain what line of sight is.
Where you're not wearing the goggles, you're physically looking at third person.
Really push down on it.
Okay. But yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out earlier if I could control it like with motion kind of thing, but just I was bored. Shit, I can't see where you're going.
Let me know what you're gonna do so I can kind of... A lot of guys come in, they don't know anything about drones, and they want one, but they hear that keyword, beta flight.
Yeah. So guys, this thing, like we showed in the video earlier, there's a little USB adapter for this. The drone does not use beta flight from what we can tell. It's a custom firmware for them. There are software updates possibilities and all that for it, is why they include the adapter. But this is not a drone where you're going to spend hours trying to configure it before you can even fly it. This is literally something, as long as you read the manual and understand what the 4 switches do, you can fly this thing.
Right.
So
you probably could fly it without reading the manual.
Guys,
but
it's so easy, Basil could fly it. That's all I got to say, okay?
Cut!
Yeah, I can't see around the corner.
Walk of shame.
So, as far as the turning on it, you can see, let's get a little more. But basically, it's just really good. I mean, it might be a little quick for you, sorry.
No, you're good, I got it.
But basically, I mean, this is on the medium rate setting, the mid, so I'm not even on the fast. This handles really well. So I'm really happy with the way it flies. All right, so here we go. This is getting ready to fly the Cetus FPV. So we're gonna turn on the power, push and hold the button.
Radio's always going first.
Yeah. Okay, push and hold the button. It'll come on. You hear the audio, then you can let go. And then we're gonna take the drone itself. And
well, battery goes
battery's
in there.
installed. Yeah, the battery just slides in.
And it's charged, obviously.
Yeah, this one's been charged.
And make sure it's centered.
So we'll just plug it in.
Off-centered batteries.
Put it down. You'll see the lights flashing, and then they'll go solid. I'm gonna turn on my goggles.
Okay.
And this one happens to be on the channel, but I'm gonna go ahead and search anyway. I'm gonna tap and then hold.
So which button are you pressing? The search button?
The S button.
Okay, S for search.
And then you'll see it go through the menu, and it'll find the channel. I'm gonna go ahead and...
You gonna put them on?
Yeah, I gotta set these goggles for my face, though.
All right, let's see.
So
how do they fit you?
These are big right now.
All right.
But I just had the strap all the way out. So.
Oh, you mean the strap was big, not the goggles itself.
Yeah. So I'm gonna adjust these to fit me a little bit. And turn this one on too, so you can.
Oh yeah, look at that. So we're gonna ride along.
One thing I've noticed, the factory coloring is a little dark for inside, depending on your lighting. Outside is different, so it just depends on where you are.
Quickly, let's go over the screen out here. I see a disarm in the center.
So the center is disarm, and that will change if you arm it. The bottom left corner. Up 1 is the voltage of the battery. Right now I'm at 4.14, so it's not fully charged, but it's close. Bottom right is the slow, medium, and fast, and that's the rates.
Okay.
The flight mode, that's video. I just did that, sorry. See, that's what I was talking about, flipping that switch.
All right, so now you're going to toggle that switch back and forth. So let's see what Will's doing. He's flipping that switch right there to change the channels
there we go.
of
Okay.
his VTX. So.
All right, flight mode here, you got normal, sport, and manual mode.
Okay.
And then pretty much, I think there's a timer on the bottom left.
So how'd you arm it?
Okay, so switch A is arming. This is flight modes. This is the rates like slow, medium, and fast. Okay. And then this is the VTX one.
Which we don't want to touch.
Yeah. Some of my drones I have arming on the side.
Okay. So we'll get back. Get back in the camera or the goggle.
All right. So I'm gonna arm it, and I'm in the normal mode, and you got to get about 50% throttle. And this is the one that will hold your altitude. And it's climbing on me because it's holding my altitude.
You're in the lights.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that's the altitude hold one, because basically it's trying to keep our altitude over the spot when the counter's on. I'm going to go ahead and flip it for the sake of this flight video into the sport mode.
What happened there?
Did I do that?
You think? Okay.
All right.
There we go. Back up.
I forgot I was low throttle sitting there.
Okay.
So sport mode doesn't hold the altitude like the first mode does. Now, one thing I will say in slow mode, mid mode, and fast mode is the aggressiveness of the tilt that you can forward flight with changes. So if you want it to be more aggressive, like more tilt so you can go faster, you gotta put it in the fast mode. And it has been a while since I've actually flown a box goggle, guys. Sorry, I didn't bring... My Fat Sharks are actually at home today, otherwise I'd be using those too to show you guys.
We want to get everybody...
Yeah, I mean, we're getting the full beginner experience.
And everyone's always asked about the DVR. Well, I want to record what you see directly, because DVR, I think you lose a lot of quality on DVR.
So that's the second mode, and then you have full-on manual mode. Which...
Manual, would that be like an air mode for those who are familiar with BetaFlight?
Yeah, more so. Oh, yep. Man.
Is there a beeper on this?
There is not a turtle mode on this.
Is there a beeper?
No. There's no beeper, there's no turtle.
We got to find it the old-fashioned way. The walk of shame. All right.
Goggles were not perfectly fitted to my face.
Yeah, we'll blame it on the goggles.
Yeah, we're going to blame it on the goggles. Obviously, it's not my flying. I didn't crash. I never crash. Okay, inside joke for those of you who don't know. All right, so... I'm going to go back to slow mode, and I'm going to put it in the sport mode, because I like the sport mode. I've always liked the leveling on the whoops and all that. I've always just thought it flew fun, because it's more like driving a little flying car almost. So go back to that. Here.
Oh, you know what? Land it real quick. I have an idea. Can you fly to the warehouse, you think?
I'm sure I could.
Well,
okay, so in normal mode, this is where it has like a landing function. And I'm going to go ahead and land over here. But if you get close enough to the ground, it'll bring it down gently, and then it shuts off the prop for you.
That was all done automatically, right? Yeah. That was done?
And one thing, I didn't see this actually in the manual, but I do want to go over it. It seems as if you, with the sensors on, if you crash, like if you hit something hard enough, it disables the motors until you have to disarm and rearm. Which is a nice feature, because if you do crash and you're stuck on the carpet upside down and you're new, you forget to disarm it, you could tear up the motors and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, let's just go ahead and show you that. I'm going to pop this thing in the door. Door test.
Oh, okay.
Door test. We got to do it.
All right.
Back in the day, that was always fun.
All right.
All right.
We're gonna hey, wait. Why don't you aim for that?
Durability test?
Aim for that sign right there. Yeah.
So, see how it disarmed? So I did not throttle down, and keep in mind, it is armed. I'm moving the throttle stick.
Hold on, let me see. Yep.
Nothing's happening. It disarms itself. If I disarm and then rearm, the motors will spin again, even if it's upside down.
So let's check it out. Any damage?
No. I found that feature out pretty aggressively earlier today.
All right. One more time for everybody.
So
I'm gonna stand back this time.
And that was in the sport mode. We're gonna go ahead and put it in the manual mode as well.
Aim for that.
I want to see in manual mode if this sucker.
Oh.
No, okay. So that being said, guys, manual mode, I shut off the props. I disarmed because I'm just used to doing that. The manual mode won't disarm the motors for you upon crashing.
Okay.
So I guess that keeps it to where if you do bump things, stuff like
that.
That
hit pretty hard. I missed that.
Oh, yeah. No, I smacked the crap out of it.
That hit pretty hard. I hit low. I thought we were going to do high.
Oh, sorry. I was just used to hitting stuff.
Okay. Well, let's go for the sticker.
The Grayson's logo?
Go for the sticker.
All right.
There's our target.
Manual mode again. And... Oh! So, see how it allowed me to hit it and keep going?
My God!
That was actually pretty impressive.
That was very impressive.
So, now I'm going to put it back in beginner mode.
Okay.
Disarm, arm. Oh, I think I knocked the prop up.
I think
that hit pretty hard. Yeah, I actually knocked one of the props up. Okay. So I'm just going lightly pushing. Don't push too hard, but if the motors slip up a little bit, you just push it up there.
All right.
So, all right, now we're back to the altitude hold mode. And disarmed. Okay, so I did not disarm that, and that is a feature of this one to keep it from happening. So both the normal and sport mode, upon crashing a large impact, appears it does disarm the motors. I did not see that in the manual. I may have overlooked that part. But I'm going to go ahead and say that is a feature of this one, not just something random.
That's pretty cool. Brushless is the key word in the last several years. This one's brush. We kind of, to me, or anybody who's out watching this, is going to say, hey, I've taken a step back. I had some crappy and brushed ones from different companies.
Well, there's a couple things with this. I mean, you have the sensors on there. That's helping it. The optical flow sensor definitely changes things for this. Oh, if I can keep dropping it. Technology is better now as far as the software and the electronics and the gyros and everything. Also, brush is going to be much more efficient for one cell setup. You're getting 5-minute flights out of this little guy. Whereas a brushless setup with small motors and all that to keep it down the size, you might get 3-minute flights at best. Strength. The brush motors are going to take more of a beating than a brushless motor as far as bending shafts and all that to keep it down the size. Brushless motors are much more expensive too. So maintenance, replacement costs, etc. is going to be much cheaper on something like this than a brushless equivalent.
Well, that makes sense now why I went to a brushless motor.
Yeah, it keeps the cost down, but for what this is trying to do, it doesn't need to be brushless. This flies very well to zip around the house, stuff like that. This is just, it's a very good product. I can't really stress that enough. It flies so well. I think BetaFPV definitely hit a home run on this one. It's just, I can't say anything bad about it, even though it's a brush quad. Like, I want to hate on it. I really did want to hate on this quad when I saw it. Just because it was brushed. I had that stigma in my head. But it flies very well. It did good. The batteries charge up quick. And for someone that's just getting into this hobby and wants something to fly and they're not good at flying or they don't have any experience in that regard, this is a perfect starting drone. In the different modes here, flip it up, take it off. See how it didn't really kick in the throttle until over half. So it's coming down, and then I'm going to bring it down. And but the cool thing about this guy, what did I do?
What's auto landing again? Explain that to me.
It's not really auto. No, it's not auto landing. Basically, if the battery gets low, it'll kind of like bring itself down, essentially just like this, and it goes to that idle.
I got you.
So it keeps you from over discharging the battery. Basically, it's a low voltage cutoff.
How does it fly?
So handling. This is. I'll show you just line of sight real quick. The reason I was pretty impressed with this one is because the handling, when doing an aggressive turn, with the sensors on and all that, it keeps the altitude pretty well, and it handles the turns without dropping out of the sky. A lot of the little micro drones, especially the brushed ones, when you do aggressive turn, they kind of lose altitude and they just kind of dip really bad. This one doesn't seem to be doing that, which actually I need to change battery because this battery is dead.
What's the flight time we're getting on these guys?
Okay, so flight time you can expect is about 4 to 5 minutes on something like this with a freshly charged battery or a fully charged battery. Depending on how you fly, it can alter a little bit, but for the most part, expect 4 to 5 minutes. Just one of those things. This thing's pretty easy to fly, and it's a very good tool for learning line of sight with a drone as well as with goggles. They did a really good job on this. The only thing I can really complain about, I would say, is probably the VTX switch or the fact that there's only 8 channels and not, 40 plus. That's probably my only gripe about this, guys. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean,
thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going to say definitely 2 thumbs up. I really was impressed with this one. It flew really well, and with the optical flow sensor and all that, it just really handled well. It kind of made me have respect for a brush quad again, because it's been a while since I've even cared about a brush quad. And honestly, when I saw this first time, I was like, oh, brush quad, why did we even buy this? And then I actually flew it. I was like, okay, this definitely has a place in this hobby for anybody looking to get into it.
I can honestly say I've never flown a drone with one hand.
As you never, ever, ever should, because you need
2 hands.
2 gimbals to get yaw pitch roll.
Well, you know my point.